Most gracious God, we give you thanks for yet another beautiful day. And God, we just thank you for this community, and we just thank you for how you have truly blessed this community. And as we come now to this meeting, God, just lead us, guide us, bless us with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that we do things according to thy will. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Farm, you roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Thank you very much. Next, it will be the approval of the minutes, December 8th, the CRA budget workshop, and then the CRA meeting. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
Motion made.
Second. I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Thank you very much. At this point in time, we'll begin with the business items. First one on the agenda is to discuss and consider CRA board membership change.
Yes. So as Jenny had mentioned, Ms. Newcomb has resigned, and it had been brought up before the possibility of going back to 5 members instead of 7. So Courtney has some information on that.
It's fine for you all to switch back from your 2 additional members to the 5 original commission. And when you made that decision previously to go from the 5 original commission to an additional 2, you did it just by an oral motion. I would prefer that you put that in the form of a resolution so that it's clear and that it's on the agenda as a resolution that you're changing the makeup of the board so anyone can come and make public comment at that time. So that would be my recommendation, is that at the next meeting I've got a resolution prepared where you eliminate those 2 extra spots that you've had difficulty filling for the last year.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make a motion to change the makeup of the CRA board to the 5 members, which is the commission. And I say that because we had 2 other individuals that were basically business individuals on this board, and we have had, when one became vacant and then this other one became vacant, it's been very difficult to get anyone to really step forward to fill those positions. Not that we wouldn't, I don't think that, certainly it's not that we don't want business people up here as taking part of this, but our experience at this point has been very difficult to fill those positions. So that's why I'm making this motion to move us back to 5 members.
Any further comment? Any comments from the audience on this? We used to have 5, we went to 7 for business. We couldn't keep the other 2 up here, so we're just going back to the 5, what it was originally meant. Hearing nothing at this point in time, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will go back to the 5 member. Item number 2 is consider the MOMS program grant application.
Yes, and we have a representative here. Christine is going to be coming up and giving you a presentation on the MOMS program and her grant request.
My name is Christina Young, and on behalf of the High Springs Historical Society, thank you for your continued support. Jenny, will you be able to pull up the PowerPoint presentation for me? Yes, please. Thank you. As I mentioned, thanks for your continued support. As of June 18, 2015, our application to the Florida Humanities Council was complemented by 30 partner support letters for the overall task of developing a network of collaborating organizations, plan and implement community programs, create a local exhibit that will help educate others about our local waterways, and develop a common theme that binds us all together to talk water matters. Can you change for me? You want me to do that? Okay, thanks. With 70 plus partners now, our common theme represents a bigger and stronger voice as we band together. As you, hopefully all of us are learning more a little bit about our local rivers and springs. We're here to help educate others about our waterways, invite new people to share and enjoy our local springs and caves, and remind everybody that it will take a lot of work as well. We've got to work together to care and protect our local waterways for today and tomorrow. The next slide, please. These are just some of our partnering organizations. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. One of our other partnering organizations are different community partnering schools. As you can see, our High Springs Community School is partnering. One of the projects that you see up above or on display is the 6 kindergarten classes. They were talking about all the water in the world with their kindergarten students, and their classwork, watercolor projects, will be on display at our local exhibit as well. One of our local businesses is also offered to display them during the next 6 months. The middle school classes are also working on water tower projects, and the high school band is going to be playing at our grand opening event. Fort White Middle School partnership program, that's the middle section there. They have partnered with Ichetucknee Springs to put together science projects. Those science projects are on water quality, Florida wildlife, and springs education. So we expect to see those exhibits at the March 12th Environmental Showcase as well with our local exhibit. The Branford High School art education class is also designing and painting a Springs mural on one of those beautiful pieces of wood up there. And that particular project is being sponsored by the Knights of Columbus, the High Springs Knights of Columbus. That exhibit will be on display during our local exhibit as well, permanently displayed at their school, especially donning the fact that they participated in the Smithsonian Institute. Next slide, please. In January, we hosted 2 of our first Taking the Waters education talks as well. Lanza Galleries hosted a watercolor workshop. So both programs were really excited about hosting in partnership with us. The talk at the library actually ended up with a max of 50. Thank you, Byron, for coming out with us that day. It was amazing to see the whole entire room packed. Lanza Galleries was really excited about their workshop also. They actually had a couple of new people learning the art of watercoloring, so it's been exciting. Go ahead, thank you. Now, as we prepare and continue to plan for different programs and upcoming, tied-in programs that we can think about where multiple organizations are talking about the Smithsonian Institute, part of our programs that are upcoming in March and April are going to talk about history, sense of place, spirituality, industry with regards to our local waterways. So on March 2nd, or the month of March, you have 3 different items that are going to come up. Rum 138 is hosting a couple of different art, Fort White High School Fine Art Showcase, and Josh Milliken's water photography. As well, you can see Ichetucknee Springs is the environmental showcases occurring March 12th. That is we are one of the partnering organizations working with them to celebrate. In April, we have April 2nd, 9th, 16th times 2. I missed one on there. And the 23rd and 24th. So multiple events occurring coming up. So please mark your calendar. I'll give you more details, but as we continue to go. But as you can see, the Department of Environmental Protection out of Alachua County, we are partnering with them for the Olinos State Park Spring Celebration and their chili cook-off. National Association of Cave Divers Safety Day. We also will be hosting 15 artists from around the nation, hopefully, to join us in a plein air paint out with days at Blue and Jenny Springs. Of course, our goal is to also exhibit a little bit of a sneak peek of what we're planning to do for our local exhibit with a cave entrance. and the museum on the 23rd and 24th at Pioneer Days. Thank you. Now, the Smithsonian Institute Waterways exhibit will be arriving during the week of July 12th through the 16th. We are planning our grand opening July 16th, and more details will follow as we continue to go. It is expected to be about 650 to 700 square feet. It will be housed in the Santa Fe room at the museum. Their cover of, basically their importance is really talking about water matters, and their focus is going to be on the history, the industry, usage, sense of place, spirituality, and physicality of nationwide water. So our goal now is to create that local exhibit. And so the next slide, some of our community partners are going to help us create that local exhibit. The Department of Environmental Protection with their Florida and Aquifer. We have Karst Productions and Construction will be joining us to create a karst exhibit so that people are venturing down under and seeing what it's like without actually having to swim. We will have some local photographers sharing a little bit about the local industry, the beautiful waters that we have, etc. There will be aquatic life and fossils. And of course, the Springs Internal Project, along with several other organizations, will help us remember that protecting our springs is very important. So, next slide, please. You can basically find all of this information at our website at thehighspringsmuseum.org. We have a partnering organizations page as well as an upcoming event page. Our Facebook page is High Springs Museum on Main Street. We actually are inviting our partnering organizations to tell their stories, so they actually can go in, take pictures of whatever their events are going on. They can add to this. And then we have the opportunity also to go to the Smithsonian and share our local waterways stories on the Smithsonian website. So it's been a great opportunity to partner with so many different organizations. Some of our marketing efforts not only are face-to-face community and multiple social media partnering organizations. We fortunately, it's been kind of exciting about the social media. We have several of our different organizations that have 43,000 to 45,000 followers. It's been exciting to know that they're willing to help us share just locally about what's happening. So it's good, and of course around the world, because Jenny Springs happens to travel. You know, we have quite a few visitors there. So traditionally, we're also happy to get support with Visit Gainesville, with PBS broadcasting some basic articles and TV announcements for us. They also have offered to help us with some radio announcements, so we will be working on that. Pamphlets, newspapers, brochures, any other free opportunities to make sure to get the word out. And also websites, floridasprings.org and Visit Gainesville are also helping us with spreading the word from a marketing standpoint. So that's it on my slides. However, going to our presentation and grant request. Did I ask any questions now on this and then go to the next slide, or?
Too far.
It's my understanding you do have the packet of information, and correct, and with you. Okay, so I'll catch up. We'll let that catch up and everything. At this point, our application request is to seek the High Springs CRA support and creating our local exhibit and assisting with the marketing efforts for our local waterways. The High Springs is seeking $4,992.34 to be exact, but hopefully the marketing efforts would be supported for community wristbands and our local exhibit brochure. what our goal is to create that experience, as mentioned, to anybody who's traveling to the area, so they don't actually have to go into the cave system, but they can learn a little bit about the Florida aquifer, the karst system, the aquatic life, maybe fossils they may see underneath our feet, because this is what is existing right underneath our feet. So the excitement is to share and teach and educate those traveling to this area about the karst system, as well the cottage cheese underneath our feet. Total cost for the overall project are about $45,000. Alongside our partnering organizations, we are happy to say that we have about $40,000 in in-kind and matching funds. So our goal is really to seek your support for educating the public by allowing us to create the local exhibit, market the local exhibit, and help us get the word out by donning some wristbands. I'm finished on my presentation, and is there any questions or anything? Yes, ma'am.
Can
Commissioner
you
Weller.
scroll up and can you turn the
budget?
the budget just so that everyone can see it and understand it? Yeah. That will turn.
That's
Couple
good.
more times. Couple more times.
That's good.
Everybody do a headstand.
Rotate 2 more. You went the wrong. We're almost there.
There you go. I don't know how to do it on here. So can you just go, I see $120 and then I see the 4,762.34, and you're asking for 4,992.34, and where is that coming from?
Should be a second page to add on to that.
Okay.
Do you have that information also?
Mhm. So this money is for 5,000 brochures and the 10,000 wristbands. Is that what you're saying?
We're looking for, yes, that particular additional amount that you're adding on, yes. We are also supplementing that with grant monies that we've received from the Florida Humanities Council. So we are requesting for only half of the funding for that, if at all possible.
One more question. Amanda, where would the money come from? What line item would this come out of?
This would come out of the grants to others. This year we put in a nonprofit grant to others, and there's a little over 7,000 left in that.
Okay. That's all I need.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to pass.
No, second.
Motion second to award with $4,992.30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
continued support.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
will be available next month to share some more information of what's
I know.
happening.
I know you all are working really hard on this, and it's going to be really exciting to see this come through.
Thank you so much.
Get out.
All right, moving on to the CRA extension plan update.
That's
I'm sorry, I can't.
Makes my send it here.
Okay.
That was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. No, if this
Large, okay?
large is fine for me. If that's what this is.
Look at that. That'll work perfect.
Thank you.
Courtney wants one. I already have one.
Can wiggling room.
I know, I'm gonna have to get a larger one with this. Probably isn't. Oh, it is.
I have it.
Fit on your ear better.
It's tighter.
Okay, yeah.
That's good.
So now CRA extension plan update. So the county has the plan, our final plan, and we have set a joint meeting for the April 14th joint meeting that was already set. While that does put us a little behind schedule, we're still have plenty of time for it, even though it puts us back 2 months. But I think in talking to the county, it would be almost impossible to schedule a meeting before then that could get all the commissioners there at one time. So
April 14th?
April 14th, it's the already scheduled joint meeting with the city.
Oh, okay.
So
And is that here?
yes,
Okay.
April 18th?
No. That's what I have on my calendar. I don't know if that's. No. You'll let us know.
Yes, I will let you know. And at that meeting, you will be acting as the city commission and not the CRA board. So the mayor will be taking the lead in presenting the CRA plan at that time. And then if they've asked for anything additional, I'll just keep you guys posted as they ask for it. Their county manager has taken a look at it and their attorneys. So far, we've provided everything that they've requested, and there's been no issue, but I'll keep you informed.
It'd be nice to have that done.
Thank you.
Anything else on?
On the plan, no, that's it on the plan.
On the beautification and visual environment project.
Yes, so we have a lot going on. The light post over in front of the old school, they'll be going in next week. We had the electrician out, and he's wired it, so those will be going up. We are running into an issue with the downtown sidewalks, in speaking with our engineer, they recommend that we don't even go out to bid until after they have finished their project. And so I've been speaking with DOT and trying to get the engineering added into their specifications. So far, it hasn't gone very far with them doing it. They haven't said no, but they're not saying yes either. So I will keep you informed. We can go forward and try to do it before they're finished. However, if they change anything, our engineering could be totally off, and we won't know until after they have finished the project.
So the issue with the engineer is because they don't want to do the engineering because something until after, because DOT could change something along the road.
Yes.
That would mess up what they had done engineering wise.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And it's because DOT owns the sidewalks, there's additional requirements for the engineering. So there's additional DOT requirements that beside, like if the city was getting a sidewalk done. So the engineer would have to not only meet the regular requirements, but DOT requirements. So anything that would be changed could throw off the engineering.
Because I thought that when we were first talking about this with DOT, they had said that they didn't have a problem with us doing the sidewalks because if they did it, then things would have to be changed. But now they're going to require certain things, evidently. We have any idea what that is?
I don't. But yes, it would have to pass DOT engineering.
Okay.
So where are we at now? Are we just gonna wait till it's completed and do the sidewalks?
Well, right now I'm negotiating with them to see if they can do the engineering for us and add that into it. Like I said, they haven't said no. They said the time is close, but I'm trying to negotiate with them and that because if we can get them to do the engineering, then that will meet their requirements because they'll be a DOT engineer. So even if slight changes, it wouldn't be major. But if not, then yes, if they refuse to do the engineering, I would recommend that we wait until after the project is complete to go out to get engineering done.
And that would be 2017 is when DOT's gonna come through and do that.
Correct,
So it
January
seems that's what's on their
2017.
schedule
Yes.
anyway.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
And I'm sure you have noticed that there are lots of light bulbs downtown that are out, because I have noticed it. As you are aware, we do not have a bucket truck, so there is no way to change them until we get a bucket truck. So as soon as the city gets a bucket truck, that same week we will be changing light bulbs.
Are there not places that rent bucket trucks?
There are, but they're like $700 a day. So
Not a city that was horrible. Well, we've already gone to Hawthorne. And they're very busy.
Mhm.
We could try to tap into some of our others like Alachua, better not to go to the same city twice.
yes,
Go around. Just bug it one.
yes.
and
At a
move on
time?
to another one. Yeah, but bug it
Right.
to Alachua and we'll see what they can.
So yes, Newberry came over and let us use their truck to take down the Christmas decorations.
Well,
So-
now it's Alatra's turn. I do have a question about the lights downtown. though.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed that the lights that were going around the posts are down.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
We just took them down and we're gonna put them up when we fix all of them. It's just,
Okay.
there were so many broken ones
Mhm.
and we really can't put them up until we get the bucket truck. It's really difficult, so I just had them take them down.
Okay.
I
So
thought
are we replacing the string lights around them or?
yes.
Okay.
And I already have those.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just that there's no way to really put them up until we
Okay.
get that.
Okay.
And also, so the quilt mural, we signed the agreement last week with her. It was just finalizing colors and everything. Because it's such a low amount, she doesn't need our regular agreement. It's more like she's a vendor, because it's only $450. So she said that it should be ready to be delivered by the middle of March, and so we should be able to get that up that same day it's delivered. And also, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be power washing the sidewalks downtown. So I'm going to let the businesses know. It'll most likely be on a Monday and on a couple Mondays since most of the businesses are closed on Monday. We're also going to be taking in the flower pots, cleaning those, repainting them, putting new flowers in. And I'm working with the businesses to see if they can maintain the flower pots in front of their area, especially during the summer, when the city just doesn't have the time to devote to somebody going and checking them regular enough, and all the flowers end up dying.
At least maybe they'll water them for us
Exactly.
once we plant them.
Exactly. If we plant them, they'll water them. So I believe. Oh, and a handrail is going up at the old school. So that should help with people that are having trouble walking up the steps to have a handrail. So that should be next week also. They've already come out and taken the measurements. So.
Okay, you have something in here, and I don't know if this is dealing with that. Yeah, is that the lights? Global lighting
It's not in the packet. It was up there on the
That's the
but it was on
lights.
the one post.
It's $2,683.
Yeah,
It's, yeah,
Oh, that is the light poles.
the light
no.
poles.
What
It's
is
at the
that?
very end of the
It may not have been.
packet. No, you got a long ways to go. Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's for the light poles.
Oh, for around the school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know it was attached to that. I thought it was separate. I just had to scan that in, but but yes, that's the light poles. So we ended up buying 2 new light poles because to replace the top of the one was $2,000. So between the cost of it and the shipping, so it was cheaper to buy just 2 new ones that look exactly like the other ones that are out there than to buy just the top to the other one.
Any question?
So we had a couple, one grant closed this month. David Robinson down at the Robinson Cleaners, they put in the new doors down there. So they closed out theirs. And Lydia Nunes, it's so close to being done. So close.
It's been stopped all of a sudden.
I don't know why. I'm like, I think he's got like a quarter of a wall left. So it's so close. Besides that, all the other ones have been signed that needed to be signed, but they have not started the work on it.
What about the lawyers? What are we doing on that?
We have sent him a very friendly letter reminding him of his obligations under the agreement.
Okay.
And Amanda sent the letter certified mail. And so he did receive it, got the little green stamp back. We've not heard back from him yet.
Okay.
So we'll just continue to monitor and see what happens
Okay.
if he does sell it.
Can we put something against the house or something like that? I mean, if he elects not to, well, I assume when you say see if he sells it, then you're thinking that he's going to wait till he gets the money from the house, sale of the house, to pay us back? Because he clearly owes us money.
Right. And that, since he hasn't contacted us yet, we're not sure
Okay.
what his thoughts are on that. Just our first step was to make sure that he was aware that we knew that he had listed it for sale and to remind him of his obligations under the agreement.
So he's in the area?
He signed it himself, yes.
No.
Okay. So I guess, so can we put a lien on the property?
Not just, you couldn't just go down to the courthouse and file a lien on the property. If he didn't pay his obligation, then you could institute suit against him and get a lien on the property. So we hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll stay on top of it and try to get in contact with him again and see if we can work this out.
Okay. So I can't remember the application. So was he a LLC or was he doing it on himself? I can't remember what was on that.
He's
I think
a professional association. Oh, he's an
I think he's
LLC.
LLC, because he did it under his company name.
Okay. I'm kind of curious whether.
Yes. No, it was under his company, not under him personally.
It'd be nice if the Taylor city can be a nice office building. Plenty of parking.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the CRA. You're stuck in the Hi, High Springs Community Garden.
Yes, so there's been some discussion from community members about the community garden. I'm still working with Jenny to figure out exactly who the community garden belongs to, what was last done with it. So for right now, my recommendation would be to not allow anybody to use it until we can figure out exactly who.
Well, I don't remember. Is there anything in the contract we have with the farmers market about them doing the community gardens? I thought
I
there
don't
was.
think so. I've read over it. I don't think it's in there.
No? Because there's nothing officially that with the saying that they have control over it. I don't see then why we would have any problem in deciding what we want to do with it.
Yeah, that's why I want to work with Jenny and go through all the minutes to figure out and make sure that we haven't given it to somebody and then they come back. So I would like to put it on the next agenda by then, the March 17th at the workshop, to discuss that as part also when we discuss James Paul Park, to figure out what we would like to see done with it and at that time, come up with a plan, maybe advertise that we're going to be putting it back out there and give everybody in the community a fair notice that it's going to be there.
I mean, the thing is that at this point, unless someone steps right up in March, it'll almost be too late to really do anything with it this year as far as planning. I mean, clean it up, I suppose, but.
Yes, and it is in much neglect.
Right.
How many people actually?
I've had 3 people contact me in the last 6 months.
I think part of the problem is everyone is just seeing it die down, and so there is no one that's, back when it was cleaned up and everything, I think there were quite a few people using it.
Yeah. When somehow it was over, I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember her name, but I cannot remember her name
Yeah.
now. When it was really, really going well.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say Liz, I don't think it was Liz.
No.
Can't remember. But when it was.
It was a master gardener.
Yeah.
One was a master gardener.
Upcoming events, we have Music in the Park this Sunday. We're hoping it's the last one that's going to be inside. The weather seems to be getting nicer, so it should be back out in the park after this month. And then we also have the Frozen Foot, which is sponsored by Parks and Rec. But just wanted to promote that for him as well. And then the citywide yard sale on March 5th. And I believe that is all I have in the next month that is coming up.
Sorry for being late tonight, but somebody forgot. Does any member have anything they'd like to bring up?
Just one thing, and I'm guessing it will probably come up next month before you. The local Kiwanis Club has been discussing fixing the gazebo, making it more attractive in time for the Smithsonian exhibit. They're going to be going before I think the Parks and Recreation Board in March, whenever that is, to get their approval on it. But they have it voted at the last board meeting to utilize up to spend up to $350 towards fixing it up. And I think that if the Park Advisory Board's okay with it, then it'll come back before us for the CRA to I think put an additional $350 as a match. They figured out how much wood is needed to fix it and put a railing around it and paint it and that type of thing. So. Yes, in the James Paul Park area.
The CDC was talking about putting a light over there one time, but of course that I don't think the CDC is going to be established until anybody sees.
So I would like to schedule a CRA workshop, goal setting workshop for the next meeting, March 17th, 6:30, and I would like to try to have it over in the old school to see if we can get more community involvement. We move it to the old school. And I'd also, so if you have anything that you'd like to be put on the agenda for that meeting, please let me know.
That's
and I will
St.
definitely
Patrick's
get it.
Day.
It is St. Patrick's Day.
And you want this one at 6:30, not the usual 5:30?
Yes, I think
6:30.
we'll get better attendance at 6:30 than 5:30. People.
Is this a workshop and not
Just a
regular
workshop.
meeting? Okay.
Yeah, just a workshop just to discuss the goals for the next 3 years. We're reaching the end of the 3 years that were last set. They'll be over in October or September. So we need to set the goals for the next 3 years.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
I would prefer all right. Nobody has anything
Motion made.
At,
March 17th.
So that